Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. We have a few things to talk about, so let's get started. Bigfoot research updates, new book, Jeep Wrangler, and exciting events. In a recent video from the Bigfoot Mystery, Squash DTV host, that's Steve Coles, not Cole, and Chris Bennett discussed the potential extinction of Bigfoot. The video, titled Bigfoot Going Extinct, was posted on January 26, 2025, and has already sparked a lot of discussion in the Bigfoot community. The hosts start off by discussing some Bigfoot news, including the passing of their friend Joe Snyder and the addition of his Jeep Wrangler, outfitted with Bigfoot research decals and equipment, to the collection of tactical Bigfoot research. Steve also announces his upcoming appearances at the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure and the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival. But the main topic of the video is potential extinction of Bigfoot. Steve and Chris discussed the various factors that could contribute to the extinction of Bigfoot, including habitat loss, hunting, and climate change. They also explore the impact that the extinction of Bigfoot would have on the ecosystem and on the Bigfoot community. There doesn't seem to be anything in here about a new book. Interesting. But it said here, new book, and the Jeep Wrangler. So very interesting. This is one of the most recent Squash DTVs. I think it is the most recent one. So I'm going to, of course, include this link in the description below so you guys can check it out. But it sounds like a pretty exciting program to me. Man's two chilling Bigfoot encounters, a father's legacy. A fascinating account of a Northern California encounter with a Sasquatch has been shared on the YouTube channel Into the Fray Radio. The witness, who goes by the name, Digger Dog, not Diggs, online, describes his experiences growing up in an outdoorsy family and his early run-ins with the elusive creature. As a child, Digger Dog had a few encounters with Sasquatch near his home. His interest in the outdoors led him to become a hunter. It was during a bear hunting trip in his teens that he had his first clear sighting of Sasquatch. While driving to the hunting grounds with his friends, they saw a large red-haired creature standing in the middle of the road. Though they all saw it, they quickly dismissed the sighting and continued on their way. Digger Dog's second encounter occurred a few years later while bear hunting with a friend in Crescent City. After treating a bear, Digger Dog was left alone on a ridge to keep watch. He heard something large and heavy approaching and was shocked when the ground began to shake beneath him. Though he couldn't see the creature, he could hear it paralleling the road. When his friends arrived, they dismissed his concerns and went to deal with the treed bear. I'm wondering, did he change his online name because it was Digger Dog? That's Diggerdog. I'm not sure if he changed his online name or not. He always went by Digger Dog in the chats. So, I don't know. But it sounds fascinating. Sounds like a fascinating interview. One worth checking out for sure. Next is a paper from the late Dr. Brian Sykes, genetic analysis of hair samples attributed to Yeti, Bigfoot, and other anomalous primates. This was the study he was already conducting when Dr. Melba Ketchum's study was released in late 2012. Which, as we all know, was a disaster and wasn't nearly as good as Dr. Sykes's study. It's a short paper. I'm going to put the link to it below in the description as always, so you guys can check it out yourselves. I'm rereading his book, The Nature of the Beast, right now, which goes through the process of the study he was conducting back in the early 2010s. But obviously, if you guys want to check this article out for yourself, you can. Again, it's going to be in the description below. Now, here's something that sounds familiar. Canadian man's quest to find Sasquatch comes back to haunt him in divorce case. A Canadian man's quest to find Sasquatch came back to haunt him when his excursions in search of the famed cryptid wound up being the surprising centerpiece of his divorce case. According to a local media report, the unnamed British Columbia resident and his wife separated in 2020 after he surreptitiously brought an ex-girlfriend with him on a Bigfoot hunting trip to Vancouver Island. Upon discovering his clandestine companion, his spouse was understandably outraged and promptly ended their relationship. Remarkably, beyond being the catalyst for his marriage falling apart, the man's search for Sasquatch was also cited in a judge's decision concerning alimony. Basically, what the judge said was, if you can search for Sasquatch, you can pay alimony. Now, from what I've heard, Todd Prescott said he was contacted by an individual who confirmed to him that the individual named in this particular case is none other than known hoaxer Todd Standing. And the reason I said it sounds familiar is because Rene Dahinden, way back in the 60s, was given an ultimatum by his wife, his then wife, Wanya. Either you spend time with me and the family, and you stop searching for the Sasquatch, or there's going to be a divorce. Rene chose the Sasquatch, so Rene and Wanya got divorced, but they remained friends until the end of his life, which is interesting. I wonder if Todd Standing and his wife are going to remain friends after this. Interesting question, isn't it? Speaking of something interesting, watch. Prince William asks scientists about searching for Loch Ness Monster DNA.
This is where I ask you a wonderful question that everyone's going to want to know. Does this mean you can find the Loch Ness Monster?
Oh, do you know what
if
people
you
have
DNA
tried?
Loch Ness, can you find it?
People have tried.
Have they?
Annoyingly, people came from New Zealand to try that.
Oh, okay.
And they took about 500 eDNA. All they needed to find is one bit of unidentified reptile DNA, and
Yeah.
they could have had a story. But yeah, no. We've been asked to try and find Yeti and Bigfoot and
Yeah.
all sorts. It comes up. But yeah, so you can sort of see where, actually it's easier to see on the satellite imagery. You can see where, but if you look at it here, you can see species richness. What's quite interesting is actually the areas where the sign is found are the areas that have fewer species overall. So you might look at that and go, they're less important areas because they've got fewer species, but actually there's really important species in there. So you can sort of look at it.
Invasive species are travelling.
Yes.
And this is going to be a good. You'll be able to build hopefully a bit of a database on invasive species, because that's something I think no one really has a grip of what's going on there.
Yeah, and the impact of invasive species to the economy is absolutely huge, and they cause so much disruption. So particularly we do quite a lot of work in ports and looking at shipping, and that's one of the sort of classic ways that the invasive species arrive. So if you can catch it early at the port, then you can do something with a lot of fun.
Fantastic, yeah. So much learning. It's amazing. Got huge potential.
We do have.
Oh, thank you very much.
Take home, we've got both soil and water kits in there as well.
So, is royalty now getting interested in Nessie? It seems like it, doesn't it? In an amusing exchange captured during a visit to a British biodiversity monitoring company, Prince William asked their founder if the technology could be used to find the Loch Ness Monster. The odd moment seen above occurred as the future King of England received a tour of the Environmental DNA Laboratory at the 2024 Earthshot Prize finalist Nature Metrics. After being given a demonstration of how their scientists can extract tiny pieces of DNA from a location to get a better understanding of its ecosystem, Prince William likely surprised his company founder Dr. Cat Bruce when he put forward the question that everyone is going to want to know: does this mean you can find the Loch Ness Monster? So it appears that the future King of England could be open-minded enough to be interested in things like Loch Ness Monster. Now, he may have said, maybe, I don't know if he said it in a joking manner, if he was just kidding around. It's an interesting and surprising question, though, from the future King of England. So I'm going to keep my eye on this, and let's see if there's any further developments from this. Finally, Yeti Knicks is a possible NHL team name. Remember, I reported about the possibility of a Utah NHL team possibly using the name Yeti, but then they changed their minds. It seems like they have changed their minds for good on this. To the disappointment of the cryptozoology buffs hoping to see one of Bigfoot's abominable brethren represented in the world of professional hockey, Yeti has been officially eliminated as a possible name for Utah's new NHL team. The unfortunate news was broken by the group on Wednesday when they announced a final vote featuring the three last remaining monikers: Utah Hockey Club, which the team currently uses, Utah Mammoth, and Utah Wasatch, in recognition of a mountain range of the state. The exclusion of Yeti left many fans scratching their heads, as it had been widely assumed that the overwhelmingly popular name would ultimately wind up adopted by the team. Obviously, it has to do with the Yeti cooler. The fact that we have Yeti coolers, and I think they wanted to eliminate any confusion over that. And that's the reason that they chose not to go with the Yeti name. That's understandable because they don't want to have any confusion. But it would have been nice to have a hockey team with a cryptozoological name, another cryptozoology name, named hockey team, besides the Jersey Devils and the Kraken. Oh well, maybe somewhere down the line somebody will pick Bigfoot. Who knows? And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. And I'll continue to do this as long as you guys want me to. And for 10 years now we've been doing this, the visual medium. And I've enjoyed every second of it. And I know I said I was going to take last week off, but I decided not to. But I think I'm going to take next week off. And hopefully I'll commit to that. But I just love doing this so much that I don't know. But I guess I do need a bit of a break. So I think I am going to take a break next week. Unless there's late breaking news, of course. And there'll be a news update if there is one, if there is any breaking news, any late breaking news. So anyway, until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. It's May-HBM's Crypto Corner.